And we're live. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Wine Wednesday. And my beautiful friend Reen Rose joining me. Cheers to Wine Wednesday.
Cheers. Let's go. Can we do a click? Oops, that way.
Yeah, it's like a boomerang.
There is a way. We'll practice that before next time.
Do a boomerang with the glasses. So, in case you're wondering what I'm drinking, tonight I am drinking Grey Monk Marlowe 2018. It's really, really yummy. And it's got the aromas of plum and berry, and it's a medium bodied wine, balance of oak and sweet spice. There you go. And I bought this wine when I was in Kelowna in August with Reen. Grey Monk's one of my favorite wineries. So what are you drinking?
Well, Grey Monk is one of my favorite wineries too, but I haven't been drinking a lot of wine. And I knew if I opened a bottle of wine that I would feel compelled to drink it, or else I'd feel bad. I just threw the rest out. So my wine isn't really wine. So I don't have a really beautiful bottle. Instead, I have a lovely can to share with you. Okanagan cider. Black cherry, one of my favorites. And I kind of got Shauna hooked on cider when she was here. So I think she's scared to come back. She, knows what happens when she spends too much time around me.
Oh my God, I love it. I know we came back and Bertie, he bought me ciders. I was like, oh, this is nice in the afternoon because I don't normally drink wine in the afternoon. It's just, I have a glass of wine. I want to go to sleep. But the ciders are definitely yummy. So
there's no thirst quenching. Yeah. So I find it easier to drink cider. Mm-hmm. Wine, sometimes you get a bit of an after. I find it harder. I'll just feel a little less well the next day because I don't drink very much anymore. I can't believe it. I am that original sponge. I had such a tolerance to alcohol. This is not the thing to be proud of, is it? But I could drink so much, never feel ill effect to it. And now I've turned into a very light drinker, very light. So I'd have to go back into training if I was going to spend too much time with you, Shauna.
Yes, you definitely would.
But I would do that. I would sacrifice that for you.
Oh, thank you. I love it. Well, I have to say I have been toning it down, so that's good. We won't go into the definition of that yet, but
yeah, well, it's all good. I think it's whatever. Like, I didn't mean to. I can remember when I first started my spiritual journey, this enlightenment, and I got this idea, oh no, I'm going to have to give up drinking. And I didn't like that idea. And I'm thinking, oh no, I don't know. And was speaking to Kara when I was at your house a couple of years ago. And she was saying, no, when it's meant to happen, you'll just won't feel like drinking anymore. It won't be a hardship. It won't be anything. If it happens for you, and it might never happen, you can drink and be enlightened. It's not like it's a rule.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it. I have a friend that says the more she drinks, the more she connects.
That could be true. That could be true. I'm writing my next book that I'm actually in the midst of writing is really on that whole topic that there isn't a formula. In fact, I've decided I'm going to call it Fuck the Formula. I decided that with my audience, that was fine. Discover your unique code for success, wealth, and happiness. But that's that idea of just because that's the way a lot of people do it doesn't mean it's right for you to do it like that. So, yeah.
I love that you're writing. This is your third or fourth book.
Well, it's my fourth. It'll be my third published book, but my fourth book, because I wrote my book about relationships and had that all ready to publish. And then I left my husband and I separated. It seemed like an inappropriate time to be putting out a book on relationships. So that one didn't actually get there yet.
So do what I say in the book. Don't do it in real life.
Well, no, I totally agree with everything I still said. And I was very honest about, the challenges. And it's never, it's like its subtitle was The Truth Behind the Fairy Tales, because that's it. And nothing I said wouldn't have been appropriate, but it just felt, because I was feeling self-conscious about, this wasn't something after 30 years of marriage I hadn't planned that this would ever happen. So it took me a little by surprise. And it was like, it was my own self-consciousness that made me go, no, I don't think that's right. But I think I could have done it and there wouldn't be any problem. So yeah, we'll see. I'll update it and get it out there sometime.
I was going to say, there you go. Now you can totally publish it.
With a different kind of twist on it.
Yeah.
But no, you know, I didn't leave my marriage because it was bad. I just left it because I wanted more. It was limiting, and I could easily have just said, this is fine. It's good. You know, but I just wanted more. And I thought, even though I'm not a young thing, I thought I got a lot of decades ahead of me still. And do I want these frustrations for decades?
Yeah.
So the book still, you know, it's not like I drastically wouldn't say the same things. It's just, as I said, the timing didn't seem quite right. So
yeah, exactly. I love it. Oh my goodness. So your new book, when are you coming out with that?
The launch date is January 15th of 2021. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I could have had it done around Christmas time, but then I was sort of someone recommended that not to get caught in all the Christmas stuff. And January is typically a self-help, let's you know, change things month. So that's why I decided. And you know, I think I'm like you. I like to learn things, but you got to go to people who really know and trust that they're giving you good advice. And that was the advice. And then of course I did my numerology energies for all the days in January, and I wanted a 3-day, and so I went for the 15th. So yeah, that was it. So what are you up to right now?
Oh my goodness, what am I up to right now? I have been spending a lot of time in my office, like a lot of time. I can't talk. I haven't barely drank yet. I only had 2 sips. I really like, because I'm doing some one-on-one coaching. I've got my codes, like stuff is starting to come together, but I'm like deep in content creation right now. So I'm like, I'm loving it because it's something I haven't really dove really deep into before. So I'm really deep into creating some courses, and I probably got 3 of them I'm working on at one time that I'm working on. So, and I've never really done anything like this, so it's all new as far as content creation and diving in and then going, okay, let's come up with strategies around that, and then strategies for the launches, and then strategies, you know, for social media and how to put everything out there. So I've got a lot of stuff kind of organized chaos now, as I like to call it, because I love it, because it's like, okay, I'm going to work on this. Like today I was just putting together like 30 posts to put out on social media that are all part of going to be little bits and pieces from one of my courses. So I'm just playing around with everything right now. So it's like, it's really time consuming, but I'm loving the work I'm doing, because I'm also learning. I've got like a platform now where I can do webinars and live courses on a platform. So I've got that happening, as well as like, you know, I've got now like a new email campaign. I reached out to a friend of mine, Cindy Van Arnhem, and said to her, okay, what are the best business tools to get all this running? So we talked about my big vision, where I want to go with my coaching business. And so she's like, I would do this tool, because you can run everything on this platform, then your email and autoresponder. And I'm like, okay. So I got those, and now I'm diving in. So it feels so good. Hi, Susan. Hello, Susan. Thank you.
Hi, Susan. Yeah, not that I know you, Susan, but I feel like I do. I feel like I do. Join in, ask questions.
She's a good friend of mine. Yeah. She knows what it's like. Building a business online. So,
so can you share what your courses are? Like what the content is?
No way.
Say hi, Charlie.
No way. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Charlie.
Keeping it secret until you.
Yeah, I kind of am, because I'm figuring out all the pieces together. So.
Okay. Yeah. This is like that the cliffhanger at the end of the chapter. It's like, oh, I'll have to keep watching you to see what you're up to. So yeah, very exciting.
So yeah, definitely. So it's been busy.
Yeah. So is that just that's we all work so differently. Yeah. So is that what you like to do? Is like to have 15 balls in the air at the same time, and then just
you know what? I always have. And I've always had more than one thing going on. Like even when I was in my 30s, I've always been going to school at some point, like always. And even in my 30s, I worked full time. You know, I did extra things on the side. Plus I was going to university. Like I've always had a lot of things happening. And it's really interesting. It wasn't until I actually dived into my number as the 3, and I have like my ruling number 3, my birth card of 3, like I have a lot of 3 energy. And as 3s, it is all about multiple projects and multiple businesses. And when I look at, that's something I've always kind of had. So it's for me, when I can say what I'm doing, I have other friends that are like, oh my God, you must be exhausted. I'm like, no, actually, I'm lit up over it. I'm having fun. I love it. It doesn't overwhelm me or exhaust me because it's like, I got this on the go. I know what I'm doing and I know how it's going to come together. And it actually excites me. The more stuff I have actually really excites me.
See, and you know, there's that, going back to that point, that everybody does it their own way. And it's so important to remember that just because that works for you doesn't mean it has to work for somebody else. And that until we know ourselves and go to school all the time and figure out who we are, it's really hard not to judge yourself or compare yourself to somebody else and think, oh, wow, I should be doing that. Because it's interesting. I am a ruling number 6. I've got lots of 3, 6, 9 energy, but I am not ruling number 9. I'm if I got that right, ruling number, I am a 6.
You are a 6.
Yeah, my birth card is a 9, ruling number 6. So I like harmony. Yeah. So for me, I find it when I start getting too many things going on, I start to get a little scattered about what I'm doing, because it's like, no, pull those pieces back in. Everyone needs to harmonize. I need to feel that the boat is all in a nice little pattern, not in the middle of some storm somewhere. And it's so funny because right now I have so much going on. I have these aged parents of mine, and I'm not very, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm getting to that age. Sometimes I say very irreverent things about them. I love my parents. My mom will be 90 on Sunday. My dad's 92. It's like I'm an only child because I'm the only one who is here and, you know, caring for them and everything else. But my goodness, they take a lot of time. My dad can't hear, he can't see. I'm doing a million things, plus trying to run a business, plus looking after a house and a dog and dealing with things for my kids and all of this. And sometimes I just think, I can't do it all. I can't do it. I get really overwhelmed. And then I have to come back to a place of really accomplish something. And then I can go, oh, okay, yeah, it's all fine. It's fine. So yeah, interesting how we all have our way that is great. And thinking that somebody else needs to define what our right looks like is crazy.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Susan's just saying, I love that. We all work different. And we're all on our own journey. You know what? That's exactly it. And I love that you said that, because, and like you were just saying too, Reen, like that, we were put in boxes before. So it was like, and because I am the way I am, other people would feel that way. They would feel like, oh, well, Shauna's doing this, Shauna's doing that, right? And it was like, and just by me being me would make them feel less than. And it's not like I meant to do that.
Well, that's such an interesting point, because you get caught up in that. And I will fully admit, when I first met you, I'm going, I need to spend more time with her. She is so abundant. She is so full of life. And you know, I just need that abundance in my life. So, but when I realize now, I love that about you, but I can't be that person. I can have abundance, but I have to do it in my way. And I have to, you know, create in what's right for me. And you're so right. We've spent so much time thinking, oh, I need to be special. I need to do better than that. I need to do that. It's all rubbish, total rubbish. We just need to figure out what fits us and really lean into our hearts and see, does this feel right? And if it feels right, it is right.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Yeah, totally. And it's interesting because, like, for us, just our journeys we've been on, and then also like with the numerology, so we understand who we are at a different level now. And it makes it so much easier to now right, relate to other people and then go, oh, okay, and we can almost see that, like, okay, this is the way, like, she's a teacher, she's that, that way, okay, she's a hummingbird, she just likes to float around. And as you start to get to know different personalities, it's like, oh, okay. And then as far as like gathering the people in to help you grow your business, it's like, oh, okay, I want a 4 to come in and help me grow my business. And it all starts to really come together quite beautifully.
And I love numerology. I really, really
You're
do.
a magnet, so.
Oh, yeah, it is. She makes us all want to be 3s. That's all I can say. But, I think sometimes it doesn't matter exactly what it is you use to learn about yourself. I'm Myers-Briggs certified as well, which I have been for quite a few years. And that was the start of me really starting to think, this is what's natural for me. Doesn't mean I can't do 101 different things. Doesn't mean I can't do things differently, but that's my natural way of doing things. So whether it's numerology, Myers-Briggs, colors, a disc, whatever it is, they're all good because we learned more about ourselves. And I bet this isn't true. I know for myself, then I'll follow my thought for a second. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm being a little rambling here, but I didn't like people to see who I was because I thought I was subpar. When I was growing up, everyone thought I was shy, but I was just insecure in who I was. So I thought I was an introvert. I was like, don't look at me. But I really wanted to be the center of attention, and I really wanted to be that person. And so a lot of people wouldn't have seen the real me. That's the interesting thing. And I was going to say, at some points in your life, maybe you weren't the flamboyant 3 you are today, but I suspect you always were the flamboyant 3. And I don't think you have suffered with the same kind of insecurities that some of us have.
You know what? I came out of the womb with 3.
That's true. A flamboyant 3, because like there are some 3s that are not flamboyant like that.
I know.
My brother's a 3, and he's a tremendous introvert, and you would never get the same vibe. I can see why he's a 3, but we had my parents. So that's all I'm going to say. And so he turned out quite differently. And it's kind of interesting. I think that's one of the things I'm really drawn to about you is the fact that you've always owned who you are. You can tell that, and you're good with that. And I think we don't want to do the same things, but we all want to achieve that. We want to be good with who we are, be proud, not feel that anyone's criticizing us because we don't care. They can criticize. We don't care. It's a point I've got to now, but I spent a lot of decades not that person.
Yeah. Well, and I look at a lot of it too, was my upbringing.
Yeah.
Of course, right? And I mean, on the numerology side, I have a lot of 3 in my chart. So there's a lot of amplification, right? A lot of abundance, a lot of application, creativity, expression. And so that's part of my personality, but also it has a lot to do with growing up with 3 brothers, because for the longest time too, I was like the little tomboy too. And so I just wanted to, do whatever my brothers were doing and be a part of everything and have fun. And so it was always, I didn't grow up as an insecure kid. I just didn't. So
I think that too has a lot to do with your parents. The parents, good, bad, and different. We all want to be we all get scarred by our parents. I tell my kids that too. I say, I know I'm scarring you, but I don't mean to, and forgive me, but I'm doing whatever feels like the right thing for me to do. But we all have these things that happen, but some people are luckier or find that's not the challenge for them. We all have different challenges. And
you know what? I had other challenges.
Yeah, we all do. And it is kind of that thing that there again, it doesn't matter. You can be in exactly the same family. You still won't come out with the same experiences. Yeah. So it's that back to my title of my book, we can't be living by a formula. Whereas if you are an only child, or if you have 3 brothers, or if you have this or that, it'll be like this, because it isn't. It too many variables to ever be able to come up with a consistent formula that would work for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you're a little pixelated there. Well, and
Remember?
yeah,
Sorry.
and I think when you add on to it too, it's like not just like the ruling numbers and stuff, but it's also like you look at the Gemini or whatever, right? Because you can have a 3 that's a Virgo, right? And so when I
Mm.
look at Virgo, I look at Bernie. So that adds a big dynamic to it too, right? Or I'm the Gemini, I'm the sign of the twins. And I remember reading a book years ago when I was going through my divorce and my breakup with my husband. I went to Sun Signs and I was reading about Gemini, and it said something about the Gemini woman. It's like she can be like the career person, she can be this, she can be the life of the party, she can be the one on your arm meeting your boss. It's like you have 6 personalities. So Bernie and I, that became kind of a joke. He's like, oh, so which Sean are you here tonight?
Yeah, as a Gemini as well. That's exactly what my ex used to say. He'd say, I never get bored because I'm never sure what person will be here. But it's so funny you talk about a 3 could be a Virgo. My brother is a Virgo 3. So that's so funny that you say that. You're reading my mind now. So yeah, there's another trait I didn't realize you had, a skill, mind reading.
Well, what's funny? I was just thinking of what sign is more quiet, more introverted. And I was like, oh wait, a Virgo, because I was thinking of Bernie.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? So yeah, it's so if we could only really learn to teach our children to revel in their uniqueness, to not feel that they're under any obligation to be a certain way, that they can just be whoever they are. Success is for them, whatever it means for them. It's not what the world tells you is success.
Exactly.
And psychologically, if you believe you're successful, you're successful. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. If you think somebody else is your best friend, they're your best friend. Even if they hate you in reality on their side, it does not matter, because it's what you perceive that makes all the difference. So.
I love that you said that. That's so true. Donna's here. Hey, Donna.
Oh,
Gemini as well. Awesome.
Geminis everywhere in this room.
Yes. Donna's awesome. She's I don't even know how to describe. Donna's like a relationship guru. And she does these amazing retreats, and she's got this, is it called the Smart? You'll have to chime in. She has a system that she does. Anyway, it's beautiful. Bernie and I have done one of her retreats, and I'm going to start having her on the Conversation with Shauna's show. I think I probably have to have her on like once every 4 weeks or something, just to talk about relationships, because she's got so much, so many years, so many tips and things to help people with relationships. She's just an amazing lady.
Oh, and I would love to hear her experience with, like, I'm finding that there are many people like myself who have been in long-term marriages who suddenly go, yeah, I could stay there. That's fine, but I want something more. And so there are a lot of people, who've chosen not to do traditionally what our parents did, which is to stick it out regardless. And that there again, there's another judgment about whether are you better off sticking in a relationship because it's okay, or should you be looking for something that's better? Yeah. Let me know when she's on. Donna, I need to hear from you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I remember with my ex, lots of stories, but the one time I just in the living room, it hit me so hard. I was like, I could not see myself growing old with him. Mind you, I could not see myself with him another week at one point. Let's just be real. It's like when it's done, it's done. It's like, let's move on. And so, but it's interesting because and I was like, what, 30? I want to say, or 32. But at that point, it was like, I just wanted somebody that I could just grow old with. And I did pictures swinging on the porch, right? And I would look at my ex going, that's not going to happen. We'll end up burying each other.
Oh, isn't that funny? Because, that is a typical thing of swinging on the porch together forever. And I, like my 30-year marriage went through a lot of stuff. It started off really, really not very good, suffered a lot. It was my own feeling I couldn't get out. So I stayed with kids, blah, blah, blah. And then we went for about 8 years where I couldn't imagine myself being with anybody else growing old. But of course, you never stay in the same place forever. So it doesn't matter when you hit that point. And maybe I could have got back to it again, but I don't think so. I think we just wanted such different things. And I wouldn't be here talking to you tonight if I'd stayed in that relationship, because he didn't want me doing this work. He didn't like me growing. he just wanted to be retired and, go for a trip once a year. And gosh, that sounds so boring. And I think I'll work till I'm 95 probably, or maybe 105, because what else would I do with my life? I love what I do, and I will write for forever, I'm sure. So yeah, it is interesting that you never know. And I think that it's so important sometimes just to make that choice every day that this is what I want. This is what I want. And maybe that keeps us more invested too, rather than just letting it go and going, oh yeah, it's fine, it'll get better. And then it, never does. But yeah.
That's what Donna's saying here. Mostly women want more. And then she's saying the highest percentage of women in 40s, 50s, and 60s are dropping the bomb on many comfortable, complacent men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true. And it's funny because I've had this thought go through my head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That
Totally.
like, because as soon as we separated, my husband decided he didn't want to be on his own and he went online dating. So, I'm barely out of the house and he's got himself a girlfriend, which is great. It's fun because I didn't want that. It took me by surprise. I was a little shocked by the whole thing, but he's now been with her for virtually as long as we've been separated for. And he's so, so happy. And I keep thinking, she really needs to thank me, because this version of Nick is way better than the version I got. And his previous girlfriend, I'm sure she did some stuff to mean that I got a very mildly slightly better version. He's a lovely guy. He's just, at this time, not for me. But I think we go through those experiences, and I'm hoping that he has learned a little bit. By that complacency of just thinking it didn't matter, he could do what he wanted and he didn't have to make an effort. I would just be there. After 30 years, you don't expect someone to go, excuse me, but, I want different. Yeah.
Oh, she's saying now, sorry, I meant those women are the ones going for the divorce. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm actually grateful Reen got a divorce.
Not divorced, still just separated, because we just haven't got around to the divorce side of it. But as good as the same thing. Why are you glad?
Because I'm glad because, I met you right when it had just shortly after it happened, right?
Yep, just happened a week or two before I met you.
Yeah. And then you came to my house and we had this amazing weekend. And then, and then I've stayed with you a couple times now. And you've been here a few times. I don't know if our relationship would be what it is.
Well, we wouldn't have Bernie and you come and move in for a week and, I'll be happy. It wouldn't have been the same. So we make a great threesome.
Yeah, exactly. I know a threesome. That's so funny. Hey? I love it. Very worst thing at Reen's house, and Bernie was making us coffee in the morning and breakfast.
He was so good. He was a man for both of us.
Bernie took care of us.
He certainly did. So
she does need to. Oh, his girlfriend does need to thank you.
It's so true. It's so true, because all through those 30 years, I was the one that was always, I'm a really good communicator. So I would be saying, this isn't what's working. This is what needs to change. This is, and I got those conversations going. He'd never want to listen, but I kind of forced things. So things got a lot better. And, where I would say I had a lot of bad years in my marriage, I also ended up by some really good years. And, but it was because I tried so hard in all those times and kind of made things change, because I can't stand I'm proactive on those things and I need my harmony. If I'm not going to have harmony, what's the use of being there? So you can imagine how hard it would be for a 6 to be in a disharmonious relationship, can't you?
Very much so, because you're all about harmony and you're about love and you're about that connection. And that would have been really hard for you, actually.
Yeah, it was. And I didn't realize all those years when I was so quiet, and everyone would have said I was shy, like in school. No, many people never heard me speak the whole time I was in high school. I went to a reunion, they went, oh, you can talk. And it's like, yeah. But when you think about, I'm an extrovert. I am not an introvert, even though I thought I was. I must have been in a world of torture that I felt so uncomfortable speaking and sharing. And whereas now you probably can tell, the words just spill out. I don't even think about what goes into my head. It just comes out my mouth, and I share everything. So yeah,
I love it. Every single one of my report cards, my mom kept them.
Mine too.
She gave me this box at Christmas and all this stuff, and I, I was like, and I was like an A student, like an 80s, whatever, 70s. It was so funny. And there was like, I can't remember every single report card where they had the comments. They're like, this makes me laugh. It's like, Shauna's a lovely girl. Shauna's a lovely girl. Shauna tries really hard. She applies herself, but Shauna talks too much. Everyone, Shauna talks too much. There's all these nice comments. It's like, but Shauna talks too much.
Surprise. Yeah, something.
Oh my God, it was hilarious. And I think I was in grade 12. This is funny actually saying this now. I was in grade 12, and my grade 12 teacher in history, he kept moving me around the class because I was talking too much. So he'd move me to somewhere else, and then he kept moving me, and then he put me in the front of the class, and then I just wore a low-cut shirt and distracted the heck out of him. So then he moved me to the back of the class. And then I would sit there, and there's like this window, and then I was like along the window, and I'd look out the window, my dad's welding truck. My dad would be going into picking up his welding supplies at a place in Edmonton called Russell Steel, and I would see my dad's welding truck because he had this unique yellow and brown design, and I'd put up my hand to go to the bathroom, and I'd leave, and I'd walk across the street, and I'd meet my dad for coffee.
Yeah. I can see that. But grade 12 are good years for doing things like that. My best friend in high school and I used to go, if we had English last, we were very good friends with the English and drama teacher. And so we would just go and say, we're just coming to let you know that we're leaving now. And he goes, well, you can't leave. And we said, well, just so you know where we are. And then we'd walk home.
Oh my God, I love that. Donna saying men don't realize that women are looking for new experiences, whereas men love the status quo. That is really good. Yeah,
I love that.
Could have the same forever. Don't rock the boat, says he. Whereas her, this is too boring, and I want to feel myself growing, changing, and connecting. Yes,
perfect. Yeah. Oh, Donna,
I can't have her on my show, Donna. I had her on my show before, but something happened with, I was using Be Live, and something happened with a couple of my episodes. So yeah, exactly. I love that. What you saying? That's freaking hilarious. On one of my report cards, the teacher said, Donna, don't talk too much. It's a Gemini thing too, I think. At the time she talked to herself right into a B grade from an A grade. I always have these different crazy teachers. Yes, exactly, Susan. That makes sense. Yeah,
and my experience as a Gemini, because as I said, I was so insecure about who I was. If I was in a class where I had like my close friends, like my best friend, like in this English class, and I knew the teacher really well, I would say, Maureen is doing very well, but she needs to talk less. And then you put me in French, where I didn't really know many people, and I was really uncomfortable. And it would be, Marie is doing well, but she would do better if she would talk more. So it was like very Gemini-ish.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know, Susan. It's funny because when I was teaching Microsoft Office courses, when I did my Myers-Briggs certification, and I was sure that I was an introvert. And the first test we did, we went through all of them, the handwritten ones and blah, blah, blah. And it came out as not very clear, but they thought it looked like I was an introvert. And then I did the online one, and it said, no, very clear preference for extrovert. So when I finished this, I went back, and my next class, I'm going, I can't believe it. I found out I was an extrovert. And they all went, oh yeah, you didn't realize that? So, I'm as an adult, very extroverted, but I didn't see myself like that. Yeah. Because I still saw all that stuff I'd been through.
Right. Yeah.
My person.
Yeah, Susan, I can't imagine you being shy.
Yeah, a lot of people. But you find anyone I went to high school with, and seriously, if they weren't a really good friend of mine, and it was such a tiny grad class that I only had a handful of really good friends. So everyone else, they would never have heard me say a word. It would just be, I'd smile. And that was it. And then nod my head and say nothing.
There you go. Oh my God, girl, we've been yapping for a while. This has been so awesome. Thank you. Darn, I'm so sorry I have to go. Yeah, we're going to leave too.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for being here. So nice
Thank
to see
you for
you.
being here. Yeah, I'll get you to stay on 1 second, Reen. But thank you so much for being here, and Donna and Susan for chiming in with the comments. This was so much fun, and I'll have Reen on again to talk more about her book when we get close to it. And yeah, I can't wait to hear more about that. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies. Cheers.
Yeah, thank you. It was so nice to hear everybody's comments. It was like it was a four-way conversation, not just two. So I love that. So thank you. So
Thank you.
cheers.
Cheers. Bye.